Today is Aksaya Triteeya day. Many people start their businesses thinking that the business will never stop. It will always keep expanding. Other people purchase gold so that it will remain there with them forever. But today also marks the Chandan Yatra day beginning. Immediately anybody will remember Shripad, Madhavendra Puri. What did he do during this period? If you see, when the sun is very hot, most people will want to put on the air conditioner or anything. But Madhavendra Puri, you will see, sitting in Vrindavan and the Govinda Kund and continuously chanting of the holy name and praising Krishna all day. And also applying the chandan on the body of Gopinath. Later on, actually he was supposed to bring it for Gopal, but Gopal told him to apply it on Gopinath. Unless one makes an effort to please Krishna, one can oneself never be pleased. Just like unless the ocean water, which is salty, is given to the sun, one can never get sweet waters of the rain shower. If one tries to drink the ocean water directly, one's thirst will increase, one will never be satisfied. The same principle applies in spiritual life. When one makes an effort to please Krishna, serve Krishna, satisfy Krishna, then the individual jiva becomes pleased. So during this time, all the devotees, instead of worrying about the heat of the summer, how to beat the heat, instead of that, they make chandan and apply it on the Lord's body, trying to please Him. When the Lord is pleased, the devotees become pleased by that effort. Also, instead of collecting gold or starting a new business, Madhavendra Puri is beginning the business of chanting the holy name all day, morning to night. And it's very amazing because most people in this world spend their time running here, running there for food, or clothing, or accommodation, or mating, or business or something. Madhavendra Puri put aside everything else and just sat down in the bank of Govinda Kund and was continuously chanting. Which means he practically nullified the material needs, adopting a vritti called as ayachaka vritti. He didn't even beg for food. He just sat and chanted the holy name, thinking that if Krishna wants me to eat, he will provide. That goes to show his utter, total dependence on Krishna. And then when he lied down, he was dreaming about Krishna. People are dreaming about dream house and dream job and dream car and so many dream things. But he was dreaming about Krishna coming in his dream and revealing him the truth that he is hiding in a bush. Later on, again, Lord came in his dream, telling him to apply the chandan on Gopinath and not on Gopal. Lord told him not to take the trouble to bring it all to Vrindavan. So you can see, Madhavendra Puri is so blessed that he was having the conviction to chant all day and also to get Krishna come not only in his dream, but to personally come and serve him milk in a pot and later on reserve a pot of kheer, second time. So he got such amazing reciprocation from the Lord. Madhavendra Puri also teaches another very important lesson. When he was sitting alone, single, in the Govinda Kund and chanting, or after the Gopal came to the top of Govardhan, thousands and thousands of villagers from all villages in Vrindavan and around brought the Annakut, and 2 years, day after day, month after month, year after year, they celebrated Annakut festival. He became very popular Swami. But whether in the midst of such popularity, having thousands of followers, or sitting alone in Govinda Kund, his conviction in devotional service never became slackened. He never became misled by name, fame, popularity. Whether it is popularity in Vrindavan or popularity in his travel as becoming a person for whom Gopinath stole a pot of kheer. Whether this fame or that fame, the fame did not drown him in Maya. The fame remained, the fame was there, but he was unadulterated in his fame for the Lord. It's a very great lesson for the devotees who are eager to advance in spiritual life. In this world, two very bad qualities for a sadhaka are lethargy and unrestrained action. these two will frustrate us in spiritual life. If we have spiritual lethargy, it may be very comfortable in the beginning. Eventually, we will lose taste in spiritual life. Unrestrained action may be creating a sense of thrill and adventure in the beginning. Eventually, we will become unfocused and we will lose direction and advancement in spiritual life. Both these things are pain-producing eventually in the long run. So you will see Madhavendra Puri was persistent in his devotional service. He was determined in his devotional service. He was focused and concentrated on one point at doing Ananya Bhakti. That is a very important lesson to be learned. So, if a devotee is eager to serve the spiritual master and make him happy, then one should know one of the first aspects of making spiritual master happy is not to give him headache. At least peacefully do your devotional service, chant 16 rounds, follow 4 heads and go back to Godhead. Don't bring headache to spiritual master. So, we find that devotees, as the number of years increase, somebody can do some big blunder and come and say, "Oh, I have done blunder. I'm sorry, what can I do?" This is one category. Another category of people become frustrated in spiritual life because of not having practiced these pure principles properly in their life. What I was talking about Madhavendra Puri. If anyone sincerely, purely practices spiritual life, the result is he will become ecstatic. He'll become jubilant. He'll become satisfied. He will want to contribute every bit of his energy for the expansion of the movement. If one is not experiencing such sukham kartamavayam symptoms, and instead one is getting frustrated with devotion service, one is feeling thirsty, angry, greedy, that means he has done some mistake in spiritual life. Therefore one is frustrated, because the result will come eventually as the time progresses. So we have to keep ourselves safe and protected from Maya. At the same time, the minimum, rock bottom minimum is be satisfied in devotional service. Don't create trouble to yourself or others by unrestrained action or spiritual lethargy. And if possible, contribute something to Prabhupada's mission in a small way or a big way, and do the good work and go back to Godhead. So, why I am speaking all this is I am going abroad for a month and a half from now up to mid-June. So, this is actually summer vacation time. Thousands of people will come to the temple. COVID is open now. So, the devotees should know how to keep themselves spiritually nicely engaged. Just like Madhavendra Puri, how he is engaged and how he is advancing spiritually, how he is benefiting. He is one of our very important acharyas in our line. One who is the spiritual master of Ishvara Puri, and one who is the root of love of God, and one who began the Radha Krishna worship in our line is Madhavendra Puri. So we can take so much inspiration from his life in our personal life and practicing spiritual life. Because human life is very rare and time is very precious and life is very short in Kali Yuga. Anyone who is intelligent will not lose this golden opportunity, especially having obtained the association of devotees and shelter of a spiritual master. And that too is such a beautiful line of Bhakti Yoga, which is very easy to practice. And therefore one should be very focused and experience the positive, enormous, ecstatic results that are promised in the path of Bhakti Yoga by faithful practice. The most important faithful practice, what we see in Madhavendra Puri, is the chanting of the holy name. He was doing all day. If we cannot do all day, at least we can do the morning couple of hours chanting intensely and attentively and faithfully, and cleanse our heart of all the impurities, so that the impurities will not impel us to act impurely. Rather, we flood our heart with fond remembrance of Krishna and Guru and the Guru's instructions, so that we'll be able to benefit ourselves and benefit the world. Harinam Prabhu ki